Dancing in the background. I'm having fun. Oh my gosh, it's been such an awesome Monday. First off, thank you guys for being here. Appreciate everyone showing up. I just got done doing an amazing show with 3 other really cool YouTubers, Adventure Bandits. Oh my gosh, Venturesome Couple, RV Life with Adrian Ruth. Really, really cool. Just did a really cool RV couples challenge, the Love Challenge for Valentine's Day. So if you get a chance to go check it out, go over to RV Life with Adrian Ruth and check it out over there. But first, let's do the first things first, which is, hold on, we got to put up, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up. Let's have some fun. Happy pre-Valentine's Day, because we're going to have a really awesome interview today with some really awesome people. We're going to talk about adventuring. We're going to talk about every day's adventure and how can you make that adventure just about you. So let's see who we've got right now in the chat and say hi to some people while we're going, because oh my gosh, everyone's coming over here, including Mr. Johnny Lightning. Haha. Good. He was first. Gotta love this. The Broken Nomad. Good to see you. Good. Hello, Venturesome Couple. Just talking about you. Imagine that. Good to see everyone. Hey, there's Bree. Thanks so much for being here. Bree and Diane and Jarhead and Ginger. We're gonna say hi to some people real quick. Going on down here. Charlie Grace. Wow, what's the occasion for getting all dolled up? Sorry, do I look a little dolled up? Maybe I should like tone it down. It's curly hair day. What can I say? I'm just going to go with it. I have naturally curly wavy hair, and we're rolling with it, Kevin. That's what we do. So, and Jayanne is here. Hey, Jayanne, thanks for being here. So I'm going to bring on our special guest because I know you guys want to meet the Trekkers, because I know I love the Trekkers, and I have great stories about these guys, and their story is pretty awesome, and their website's pretty awesome too. So are you guys ready? Give me a thumbs up. I see Ari and Jesse down there. They're in the green room. They're eating all the cookies. So let me just bring them up. Here we go. Ready? Hey, guys. How are you?
Great. Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Everybody. Oh, my God. You were so awesome. I'm telling you what. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. We're here. So here's the story. This is Ari and Jesse, everyone. They're pretty awesome, also known as Trekkers. Tell us a little bit about yourself and, yeah, how'd you guys get started? Oh, can you hear me?
Wow, tell us about yourselves.
Where should we start? So I was born.
Let's go backwards. How did we meet? How do we know each other?
Gosh, we met at RV Entrepreneur Summit, if I remember correctly.
Yep. That sounds right.
And that was one of our first trips to where we started to get involved with the RV community. We've done a lot of camping and stuff over the years, and spent weekends out, and then decided to get more involved, spending weeks on the road, and now we're up to months on the road. So we got bitten by the bug, and we've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, since Ari and I got together, I think somebody asked us the other day how long we'd been married, and I think we decided the answer was 14 years. Had been together a few years before that, and since the minute that we got together, I mean, part of the reason that we connected so well was because we love traveling and love camping and love being outside and enjoying adventures in nature. And so we started with a tent, and then we got a little pop-up, and then we got a Class B van, and now we're finding ourselves in a 30-foot Airstream. So, seasons of life, I think we all understand that those things change, and, it's new adventures, and each one of those steps along the way on our adventure journey has gotten us new and better and fun places.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah,
so you brought
and that's big.
Wait. Oh, go ahead, Ari. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead with your question.
No, I was going to say, I wanted to talk about this because I like seasons of life, right? I love to talk about this because I'm going to share your website, by the way, so people can take a look at this. This is what you started out in first, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, the van
The
there on the
van.
bottom. Yep. It's a
van.
20-foot van. It's a road truck. Yep.
And then and now we've moved to a tiny shiny.
Now we well, I don't know how tiny it is.
Spaceship.
It's a 30-foot Airstream flying cloud, and we have the office model. If anybody's heard about that, it's one where Airstream took out the rear bunks and
Okay.
built in an office. And so for two people who work remotely, we walked into this thing at the Tampa RV show a couple years back and said, "This is it."
This is
Yeah,
it.
I
And
mean, for two people, I mean, we're both still working pretty much full time on the road. I'm definitely working, a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday job. Ari's, he's doing a little bit more flexibility with some consulting work, and that 20-foot van really amounted to about 15 feet of usable living space once you take out the engine and the bumpers and everything of that nature.
Right.
And trying to work full time, live full time, 6 months on the road was just a little bit too cramped. We absolutely loved it for the adventures and the places it took us, whether that was to Yellowstone or to Glacier or to Florida or Texas, or I mean, heck, we went to New York with it, and we'd been pretty much everywhere. We loved camping in friends' driveways and families' driveways, and doing U-turns in the middle of the road because I saw something that I made him pull off for. And the flexibility of that van was amazing. But at the end of the day, it was really like hard to live in it.
It was, and and we do a lot of adventures when we do hiking, and one of the things we'd love to do is we're from Michigan originally, is to go to northern Michigan and head down some 2-track somewhere and find a place in the woods to camp, and we could do that with that rig. And we have our YouTube channel too, and we kicked that off really back in 2019 when the state parks in Michigan were celebrating their centennial. So we said, we had this crazy idea for the 100th anniversary of the state park system. What if we went and visited every state park in Michigan? And did a video review of them and told people what's there. And so people don't know, there are 103 state parks in Michigan, and we did it. We hit every one of them. And I think the only reason we were able to do that was because of the flexibility of the van, being able to go places a little faster and being able to show up someplace. And they said, well, we only have one space left, and it's this little tiny one in the corner. And we're like, we're okay. We were on tent sites at times.
We've done tent sites. We've done, I mean, and we've just done a lot of boondocking too. I mean, so places, just national, whether it's national forest boondocking or Walmart boondocking, and everything in between. And I think that, that flexibility allowed us to really do that project, visit all those state parks. Excuse me, get to, oh, hey, there's the map.
There's the map.
I have to say, I was looking at your website, and what's really cool about this, guys, because I'm like, Michigan people right here, guys. We always say Michigan people. I'm like, if you want to know anything about Michigan state parks, these are the guys to talk to. And more importantly, when you go to their website and you look at this, I can pick on this. When you click on this, it'll show you, it gives you all the information. I love this. And any kind of videos you have with it, it's fantastic.
Well, thanks. Yeah, we've, put a lot of work into that. And, it's amazing how quickly things change, because we did that project in 2019 with the Centennial of State Parks. And we're in 2023, which obviously is only a couple years difference, but we've been really impressed with the amount of upgrades that the state has already put into some of those state parks that we visited. Because either they, found additional funding in the budget, or I know with some of the COVID relief funding, they were able to put some of money of that into like nature and parks and recreation. And so I have to say, a few of our videos are, I don't want to call them outdated, but we're all excited because we're going to have to go back and revisit them, because there's new bathrooms and full hookups and new yurts and camping opportunities. And so, we're really excited to be able to showcase what Michigan has to offer. And we love our state, and we have always loved enjoying spending time in Michigan, and especially the UP. But I think with, again, with our travel style being a little bit different now, we might not have that flexibility to get into some of those places. So it's always something to keep in mind. I think, as we see with every state, reservations book up. We've all seen that reservations book up, like 6 months to the date of when you're trying to get in. And man, that's just so hard to go camping nowadays. And I think that we talk about why we change, our new adventures in the seasons of life. And for us, that Class B van, that road truck, really, it got us started. We did the tent thing for a while, and then we said we're too old to sleep on the ground and cook outside and all these things. But the van got us where we needed to go. And then when we found ourselves having to be stationary more because either my job required it, or it was just so hard to get reservations that we couldn't be moving every 2 weeks because we didn't really know where we were going to stay, if we were going to have a good cell signal to work.
Right,
And
right.
we found ourselves sort of hunkering down like a month or two at a time. And when we realized that's what we were doing, we thought maybe it's time to upgrade, whatever you want to call it, to something a little bit larger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Understood.
a big part, and Charlie, you and I have talked about this, is that a big part of RVing is RV community, and we found that at RV Entrepreneur, and we found that ever since. And I would say, yeah, there's times when some of our videos need to be updated at some point. But if you watch one of our videos, make sure you look at the comment section, because people, our followers, our viewers are in there, and they're saying, "Hey, by the way, I was just there last month and they've made this change." And so the comments are also very helpful, and I just think that's a great part about the community. People not just saying, well, this is wrong now, it's like, hey, here's what's been updated.
Right.
And people learning from each other, and that's been really good. And it's funny that you talk about change of life, or whatever. We always said we didn't want to get out of the van and go to towing a trailer because we didn't want to change our travel style.
Mhm.
Well, our travel style ended up changing first. And then we realized now we need a different kind of rig. And I
Right,
think that's
right.
important, because a lot of times you'll be on Facebook and elsewhere, and people are like, what's the best kind of RV to get? It's like, well, that totally depends on you and your preferences. But I think a big part of it is your travel style. And how are you going to travel? Are you going to move around a lot? Are you going to sit still for a while? What kind of space do you need to live in? It's just a lot of things to consider. And so, yeah, our travel style changed anyway. And then we changed rigs.
And I don't think I think that goes for a lot of people. We didn't really know what we wanted. I mean, we were the classic example of, okay, we knew we wanted to quit our like sticks and bricks jobs, essentially, like that, forget the commuting. We want to go on the road. We want to do this. We'd watch all the other YouTubers who were doing this, and got jealous and got the envy bug and said, well, what can we do? But it wasn't until we actually started the adventures of our own that we realized what did we like about it, and what did we not like about it, and what worked for us. And again, because I have a pretty, dedicated need to be on a computer 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, we don't have the luxury of traveling on a Tuesday or going and visiting a state park or a
Right.
museum or the downtown cities, stuff like that a lot of other people do during the week. And that basically limited us to the weekends. And so if we were moving every 2 weeks, we could only move on the weekends, and we could also only explore on the weekends. And that didn't really leave us much time. So I think that's when we started settling in and said minimum of 2 weeks somewhere would give us a week, weekend to travel, weekend in between to actually sightsee. And then 2 weeks led to 3 weeks, led to a month, led to 2 months. And so now we're like, right now we're in just outside of Tampa, Florida. We're here for the winter, escaping the cold and snow in Michigan. And while we had never intended to stay put for 3 months at a time, some circumstances dictated that this is where we were going to be. And I have to say, I've absolutely loved it, because every weekend we have gone out someplace different in Florida and explored, whether that was like kayaking with the manatees, or going to Disney, or going to a state park and seeing an old historic fort, um, paddle boarding. And, it's been an adventure for sure. And I think that pretty much any place we can get within like a 2-hour radius, we've tried to really explore this area. And we wouldn't do that otherwise. We would have just, you know, hopped in, stayed at a park, maybe gone to the beach one day, moved on, done something else. And this way
Right.
we really feel like we can, include ourselves in like the local scene, and
Right.
really feel
Oh,
like we
yeah.
belong somewhere.
Absolutely. Well, we got a
Yeah,
quick, real quick from Natural State Rebels. Says Truckers, what is your favorite state park? I'm going to just say Michigan in general, but you can say if there's another one you like too.
I mean, Michigan's an easy one. It's the Porcupine Mountains Wilderness State Park, way up on the western end of the UP. It's
Wait, oh, this is backwards.
it is backwards on
Oh,
this.
wait, my camera's backwards. Where's the okay, let's see, Michigan. So it's way over here, basically.
It's on that part
whichever
of it's part of
whichever
Michigan that
direction this you're seeing my hand.
that looks like it should be Wisconsin. But yeah, so it's 60,000 acres. It's really undeveloped up there. You can do backcountry hiking and camping, and it's just a great place to get away. There's a lot of places in that park that you still have zero cell signal. So if you're looking to get away, that's the place to do it. But it's just, yeah, we would always go up there whenever we get a chance.
I think so. It's about the furthest park from our house, so that's we don't get there
Pretty cool.
quite as often as we would like. But I mean, I think we've been there pretty much every year so far for a
All right.
while.
It's going to be on my list. So listen, guys, I don't know if you're aware, but there is a big get together in Michigan called the M23. It was M22 last year. It's M23 this year. It's over just a little west of Saginaw, Michigan and Merrill, Michigan. And it's a big group of YouTubers and supporters that get together. And Mike wants to know if you guys are planning on going.
we are actually not going to be able to make that just because of our other travel plans that we have already set up for this year. So, but it sounds like a good time.
Maybe next year. Yeah, we're because when is that? That's the summer sometime, right?
It's September. It's in late September. Yeah.
September.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for anyone
yeah,
who's
I think.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, nothing. I think we got a couple family weddings and some other stuff going on that we have to be accountable for. But some family, like they expect you to be at things.
What were they thinking? Oh my gosh. I just dropped a link in the chat real quick. So if you guys are looking for more meetups in the United States, and if you know some meetups you're going to, let me know and I'll stick them on my website. I do have a list right now of meetups and RV shows throughout North America. So that's always nice to have just as a quick reference real quick. So yeah, you guys have been like rocking and rolling.
Yeah, and I mean, I do love meetups. Like we said, I mean, we met you at the RVE Summit. I mean, we've met people at KYD meetups, Less Drunk More Journey is, different, different opportunities, and or they're just informal things. I mean, we met up with some people at the Tampa RV show that are just friends of ours. Johnny Lightning, actually, we got to meet Johnny Lightning. Tech fail.
Last year, but
earbuds. Here they go. So you met the amazing Johnny Lightning.
I already did.
She was stuck in the rig working, but I got to run over to the RV show and meet up with him. So that was great. He's been following us for a long time, and that's great when you get to meet people that have followed us on the channel or read a blog or something like that. One of the most random things was actually in the Porcupine Mountains. We were walking down this backcountry trail, and this group walks by us in the direction, and a guy stops and says, "Hey, you're the trekkers," and you're like, of all places. And why are we suddenly getting recognized here? And it turned out he was the one in the group that was charged with coming up with their hiking plans. And when he went to research the Porcupine Mountains, he found one of our videos, and actually we've done a couple of them on the Porkies, and he found it really useful. And so it was just so random that once we started doing this, starting to meet people in public, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is weird at some point. I'm sure you and also other people, it's like getting used to that celebrity status where people actually know you and want to wear your logo and meet you and all that stuff. And I was like, no, I mean, is that creepy? I don't know. I haven't quite gotten used to it. I mean, despite that, we've been producing videos for 4 years, like it's still weird.
It's par for the course. I'm still getting used to people touching my hair, but after a while you get used to it. That's okay.
Yeah.
Martha chat somewhere. She knows. She understands this, so it's sort of funny. This is great. Well, listen, we've got a super chat here. Trekkers, how much ice cream can your Airstream hold? We need to know.
Steve is another one of our regulars. Yes. So we've often joked that some of when we were on our state park treks through Michigan, somehow we managed to find all of the ice cream shops that were near the state parks. So at some point it almost became the ice cream.
It was really an ice cream tour.
Yeah.
I can tell you some really nice ice cream places to visit in Michigan. That's for sure.
Well, and I can tell you that one of the things we had to struggle with in the Class B van was a very tiny refrigerator and a super tiny freezer. But when we left Texas, Jessie had found an ice cream that she loved because we'd been in Texas for a while, and we've somehow managed to fit quite a bit of ice cream in that freezer.
We fit 3 Bluebell pints in our freezer, and that was pretty much the extent of the freezer space.
You go, girl. That is awesome.
But priorities, man. Priorities.
You got to do this. Hey, Steve, I'm going to give you a really good shout out. Thank you real quick. Hold on a second. So much for that. We really appreciate it. Always a good time. I think I'm in the band in the back, you're in the front. You're winning. Woo! always a good time. Hey, for those of you who don't know, number one, we appreciate super chats a lot, and number two, all that money goes into our Smile Fund. And what we do with that Smile Fund is we actually pay it forward. So it's just one of the ways we get to buy groceries for single moms at Walmart when we go places. We like to help out servers and other things, people in need in our community on the road. Things happen. We say tires blow out. Sometimes so does your savings. If we can help out along the way and ease some of those things, that's what we try to do with that Smile Fund. So thanks so much for that.
That's awesome.
No,
always fun.
It's nice seeing all the people here in the chat section and the community. I think that's one thing that we found along the way is, we all know that how wonderful the RV community is in general, and that everybody's always here for each other. And I have to say that the RV park that we're currently staying at, one of the gentlemen the other day had a medical emergency, and the neighbor was like, all right, let me help you out. And they got somebody to take him to the hospital and got him taken care of. And it's just, you wouldn't you'd think that your neighbors at home would do that, but not necessarily. I mean, I know in our sticks and bricks house at home, and we were friends with the neighbors, but I feel like we end up being closer knit friends with the people that we, RV with than anything. And so that community is just super important.
It is. It's a really big deal. And speaking of community, Mike always likes to remind me when it's giveaway time. So apparently it's giveaway time, Mike. Thank you so much for letting me know these things because, without you, what would I do? Oh my gosh. Let me just say here. Wait, where is it? Here we go. I love that. So, all right, Mike. So let's think about this. We have to come up with a word for the day that we're going to have people write in the chat. So let's think about this real quick. And while we're doing that, I'm going to pull it up right here. Can you guys think of a word we can have them type in the chat? What do you think? Any word?
What should be the word of the day?
Hiking.
Word of the day.
How does hiking work?
Hiking.
Hiking? That's a good one. I like that. Hiking is good. Oh, wait, hold on. I messed that up. Let me go backwards. Oh, geez. As soon as I say it, I misspelled hiking. That happens, right? Don't mind me.
Hiking?
What would I say without my college?
We should have been the word of the day should have been ice cream, actually. But
That's 2 words.
I think no, we got to go with hiking because it's all one word. Ice cream, there might be space. Hold on a second here. All right, here we go, guys. Let me share my screen, and if you type in hiking, we will get you in a drawing for something really cool. That's all I'm going to say. That is always the fun part. So just like the way you see on the screen, hiking, you could win an Amazon gift card. You could win some Charlie Grace swag. You could win an opportunity. Come here, killer. Oh my gosh. To pet Rosie Bell up close and personal.
Aww.
You could give her a treat because she's driving me crazy right now for a treat and wanting to go outside. This is my crazy rescue dog. Bless her heart. We're gonna put her over here.
Aww.
Okay, here you go, girlfriend. She happens to be the most famous rescue dog in the South. I always say I'm just the girl with the dog. I just walk the dog. Nobody knows me. They all know Rosie Bell. So everyone's for hiking and hiking. We've got 16 entries. We have 33 in the house, just so you guys know. So let's see how we can get 33 thumbs up, as well as let's get about 20 entries in, and then we'll draw and we'll do something fun for a winner. Thanks, Mike, for reminding me this. Whew. All right, guys. So I know you like to go hiking. Here's going to be the question of the day. What's your favorite brand of hiking shoe? Ooh.
Well, I think we're both on this.
I think we're on the same. Well, I don't know. I'm going to say Keen. I love the Keen hikers. And I use the boots. I mean, they're shoes too, but because of the support I need for my ankles and stuff, Keen boots are awesome.
I realized though, I switched to Merrell. So mine are my Merrells right now. Although it depends on the kind of hiking. And the reason I say that is because depending on where we're going and if it's less technical, you'll usually find me in my Keen sandals.
Oh yeah.
And I hike in my Keen sandals. So like the web, the webbing ones or whatever, the toes. But my actual hiking shoes, boots are Merrell.
Yeah.
So
I have tie-dye, brightly colored Keen sandals that I like to go play in the creek, walk in the creek with.
Look, she said crick. She said crick. Somebody else calls it a crick.
Sorry, I live in the South. It's called a creek. We also have low water bridges, which is really just a slab of concrete in a creek that you drive over. It's really fun.
Jessie is from Michigan, and she still says crick. I don't understand that. I'm the one originally from down south, and I say creek. So go for it.
It's a crick. There's a different. I mean, a crick is just a little trickle of something. I love this. Okay, so we got a few things here. Kevin Broken Nomad says, "I'll pet the pooch, but I promise I won't pet your hair." Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. That is so sweet. And Mike apparently just wants a Snickers. That's good to know. And we're looking at Keen. Okay, Keen here too. Merrell's. Okay, here we go. All the way.
Merrell's,
yep. Love Keen. This is interesting. I tell you what, when you talk about hiking shoes, it's like you're talking tractors to people. You got your John Deere people and your International Harvester, and don't talk about the Orange Kubota. It's very, very separate parties of these things. I love this. All right, guys,
unless you're my family in the L, it's the Orange Alice Chalmers.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right, let's do a little drawing here. Let's see if we can do a winner chicken dinner. Who's it going to be today? Oh my gosh, I love this. It's so exciting. Drum roll, please. And I'm so jealous of you. Oh, it's Jayanne. Yay. Congratulations, Jayanne. Yay. All right, guys, here's the deal. Here's how you do it. You got to email me within 10 days, preferably in the next few minutes, at charliegraceadventures@gmail.com. As soon as you email me and say, I was a winner, I'll email you back with all the information, and we'll go from there. Congratulations, Jayanne. Yay. Very
Congrats.
nice.
Yay.
Good deal.
I love that. All right. Whew.
Who just Natural State Rebels. Now we have an actual oh no, wait, where's that hold on. Who said that?
Creek is a shallow stream.
Oh,
A creek is
boondock-
something you get your neck if you sleep wrong.
Wrong.
Right.
And then boondocking with Boomer said, creek is a noun that refers to a shallow stream. Creek is an American dialectal variant popular in some genres of fiction. Or
You're
apparently,
killing me.
unless you're my family, and then it's just
Yeah, you're killing me, Lance. You're killing me. I love this. It's so much fun. Oh, goodness.
who knew where this live stream was going to end up?
I want to go back to the thing that Charlie said. Nobody knows you in the park, that they just know your dog. It's funny
Yeah.
because I'm not great with names initially when I meet people. So I tend to get to know people by either if they have a dog, or I'll get to know people by the rig. When you're in an RV park,
Oh, yeah.
especially state park campground, you're like, I don't remember their name, but they drive or they have a Keystone fifth wheel, right? You get to know, and then eventually you pick up their name. It's kinda
I
cool.
feel dogs in the park. I mean, that's
Yeah, I'm a dog person. I hate to say it as I'm saying this because I have a Velcro puppy right now. She's like, "Hello, I'm going to sit here while I do a live stream." So there we go. There's a lot of people, and I've been doing the dog thing for a long time, who camping and whatnot. It gets to be a little interesting because a lot of people have pets, when you're traveling. But I want to know, ready for this? I want to know from you guys. Give me an example of a travel that went great and then one that went not so great. Give me something that you really liked and something we're like, I learned a lot from it, but not so good.
what's our dislike?
I can do the not so great. Was last year when we came down to Florida.
Oh yeah.
So
that's
we
a good
booked-
one. That's a good one.
So you have to book way in advance in Florida, right? And so we had this place booked out. It looked nice, good reviews, everything else. And they knew we were coming in with a Class B RV, so we had a smaller rig. And I said, if you have a smaller site available, that's okay. That kind of thing, I understand. And they were good with that. We showed up, and for the most part, the park was very nice. But they tried to stick us in this little tiny corner. It wasn't even a full RV spot. It really
was
wasn't
literally
a
a
site.
muddy patch of grass.
Yeah.
Up against
Wow.
somebody else's trailer.
Yeah. And then they said,
Wow.
well, and we complained and said we couldn't stay there. And they said, well, we could move you in between these other two rigs, but it was basically, squeezing in between two other rigs, and we weren't going to do that. And so, we ended up, and in Florida, you don't suddenly book stuff last minute.
Nope.
And so we ended up frantically on the phone calling RV parks, and we got lucky. It all worked out. I always say, you just kind of go with the flow when you're RVing.
Right.
And we ended up at a beautiful RV resort that we never even knew of, and
way,
was nicer,
way fancier than we would have chosen originally.
way fancier. And we got it for a month. They said we had a cancellation. Somebody had to leave early or something, and they had it for a month, and we took it.
Wow.
So that was the first time. That's really when we think about bad
That was
things. I
our
mean, that's really kind of the
first-
first.
outside
That's a good
of
bad
the-
story turn amazing though. That's pretty awesome. I
Yeah.
didn't interrupt you for 1 second though. Wait, before I forget,
Like
we just
low
had another
tires
donation
and
to the
everything.
Smile Fund from Kevin, who wants to put another
Oh.
smile on someone's face with Bluebell
Kevin.
ice cream.
Hey,
Oh my God.
can't go wrong with that.
Nice. That's
Can't
awesome.
go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Kevin, you're
And other than that, I mean, we had a blowout on a tire on the van when we were on I-95. And that's just, it's stuff that happens. I saw somebody, I think it was at the RV Super Show, somebody walked by with a shirt that said RVing is fixing stuff in beautiful places. That's kind of true.
pretty much.
Yeah, that was.
Pretty much.
I think what was so frustrating to us about that experience, and we kept questioning ourselves, afterwards, like, what could we have done different to prevent that situation? And I'm not sure there really was anything, because we had read all the reviews, we had looked at Google Maps, we had literally talked to the people on the phone, but what they never told us was that site that they were putting us on literally wasn't. I mean, it was technically, I guess, a numbered site, but it didn't have a cement pad. It didn't have a picnic table. It didn't have the fire ring. It didn't have any of the other things that the other sites had.
Right.
And they wouldn't give us a number ahead of time to look at. Like, they're like, we'll just assign you to a
Right.
spot when you get here based on availability, which is still very standard. We see that a lot of places. So shy of driving, and let's say we had even shown up at that park, in advance and driven through it, we would have said, this is a really nice park. Never expecting in a million years that why would they even stick somebody on a muddy, grassy field that wasn't an actual site?
Right.
So, I guess lessons learned in some way, although now when we came down to Tampa this year, and we, again, same thing, you got to book well in advance. So like last April, we booked the site that we're in currently, or this park. And when we ended up coming in July to pick up the Airstream here at the Airstream at Tampa, we said, we are driving through that park and we are asking all of the questions because we do not want to end up in a situation like we did last year. And so we came, we talked to the management, we drove through, we made sure there were none non-desirable sites. And we said, great, we'll be back here in January.
Very smart. Very, very smart. And I'm telling you what, and I think this is sort of an interesting story too, because as a Class B person, I get a lot of well, she doesn't need a real site. Well, she doesn't need a lot of space. Well, she doesn't need a lot of this or a lot of that. And so that becomes a really big issue. And that's when they think, oh, well, they can just stick her in the corner. She's fine.
Yeah.
No, if I'm paying for a site, just like you're paying for a site, am I a less of a person because I just have a van versus, a Grand Design or something of that nature? Is my rig expensive? Why, yes, it is. Are there things, that
Probably
deserve
more so than some of the other
more
ones.
than some of these other ones? So like, it's just a different way of looking at it and how you travel. And sometimes this has happened to me a few times, and happened to me in Tampa too, where because I'm in a van and I travel for the day, like I'm going to go out and do things, I'm going to come back for the day. Sometimes my site is gone because they'll sell it or give it away to someone else because my van is not present there. So
Yep.
I've had a really good friend of mine, Mo Bang for Yo Books, who's a YouTuber, who gave me some cones. I said, I need cones. You're laughing at me, but I need cones. And I put my name on them. So when I'm gone, I stick the cones in the site or whatever, say reserved or whatever for, da 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 da. And you'd be surprised how many people like actually respect the cone.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had that happen to us, but we hear
Oh,
that a lot from the other van
yeah.
lifers.
Yeah.
And I think we've counted ourselves lucky that that's never happened as far as somebody stealing the site. But yeah, as far as the sticking
Yeah.
you in the corner, oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
sometimes, like we said with the state parks thing, it was a blessing to be able to take some of those sites. But like this park that we committed to, they were still going to charge us the full rate that everybody else was getting for a full, 50-foot site with a pad and a table and a fire pit. And all
Oh,
they
yeah.
were giving us was a
Oh,
patch
yeah.
of grass. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I know. It's sort of crazy. Hey guys, I hate to tell you this. We got two things happening. Number one, I'm reading the chat, and guess what? We can't go one live stream without someone saying poop.
We're
I'm like,
RVers. It's just a common
It's a common
subject.
thing, right?
yeah. Nobody sticks Charlie in the corner. That's right. Nobody sticks Charlie in the corner. But it's happened a few times, and it gets a little, it realizes actually sometimes I'm like, I got a lot of grass here, and I got a nice little corner space. Like, this is pretty cool. Like, I'll take a little extra things for the dog. Not too shabby. A little privacy. We'll go for a little privacy moment. Yeah, it's sort of fun. And wait, here we go. Respect the cones, man. Respect the cones. It was just, you get to a point where you're just like, really, all I need is some cones. And people thought I was nuts. I'm like, yeah. And he showed up and surprised me with the gift of 4 orange cones.
Aw.
Like, oh,
Well, because we've even heard stories where people like, okay, they'll leave their lawn chairs, they'll leave their flag out, and people will still take them thinking you just left them behind. It's like, no, we're marking our side.
Oh yeah, here
They're
we go.
less
We get
likely to move cones than they
Yeah,
are your
apparently
chair.
cones,
They are.
yeah.
He's gonna design a cone with
Because
RFID
cones
chip.
official, like
It's
they
got the
came
heart
from the
bomb.
park. I'll make
Good
millions. I
idea.
like that. All right,
Good idea.
we'll chip in if you start your or not GoFundMe. What is that
Yeah,
thing?
Like a
What is it?
Kickstarter.
Yeah,
A
The
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter, yeah.
We'll call it a fart starter. A fart starter of sorts. We can figure it out. Yeah. Fart bomb. Genius. I'm telling you, I love this. Very cool. Okay, let's ask you guys another question. I want to know, what are some items now that you're in an Airstream, which I call them tiny shinies? A little jealous about the whole office thing. I love this. I have a lot of friends who have Airstreams and they adore them. Actually, a lady that we met, Tin Can Pilgrim at RVE, she has an Airstream as well. She actually had one of the best-selling books on Amazon regarding her journey and travels in Airstream. Really cool. What are some things you can't live without, though? Ooh.
Good question.
I feel like this answer is a little different now that we're in the Airstream than the van.
Yes. Ice cream.
Ice cream. Ice cream.
Without the ice cream.
So that is a good question. What do we not live without? Okay, well, so I have to think about like how I work and live and travel and
Daily life. Yeah.
I'm gonna give something that we could not live without when we traveled in the Class B, in case that this is helpful to anybody. And we still carry it, but we're not using it quite as much. And that's our little Omnia oven.
Oh
And if you're
yeah.
not familiar with the Omnia oven, it kind of looks like a bundt pan, but it goes on the gas grill, and you can actually bake in it. So you can make brownies or nachos or heat up leftovers. And for those of us in a van who had really nothing else to cook with other than like your gas grill and maybe a microwave, not being able to have an oven or anything was, at least in my cooking and the way I like to cook, I couldn't live without that. So we bought this little Omnia oven, and it went everywhere with us. And I cooked so many meals in that, and it was a lifesaver. Now that we're in the Airstream and we have a convection microwave and we have an air fryer, and my cooking styles changed it a little bit, so we're not having to rely on cooking outside and using the Omnia, but it will 100% be with us all the time, because we do plan to do some boondocking when we don't have electricity and don't have any of those other modern conveniences, and that I can rest assured you that Omnia will get pulled out because it is amazing.
And for folks who, I saw a couple of people say they love their Omni. If you haven't seen it, and we found it at the Florida RV show this time, there's a ton of accessories now that
Yeah.
they've come out with, a lot more than they used to have, that you can do a lot of different
New
things
things.
with it.
Yeah,
So
they've got like the new silicone
cool.
racks. They've got a really nice hard carrying case now,
Mhm.
instead of just like the little travel bag that ours came in. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out in a while, go to their website. They've got some new stuff coming out. So, and this is
And
not or anything by Omni. I just happen to really like their product.
that's something I don't have. I was thinking about that the other day. There's a couple things, because the way I'm gonna be, and I have very little room. And I carry some really big stuff. I have to carry like, a huge PA system. I have to carry like big equipment, because when I'm on the road, sometimes I have my own stuff. I feel like a
Yep.
singer-songwriter who got them get the microphone and all that. So room is very small. And I'm always about extra energy. So for me, I do a lot of boondocking too. I'm thinking like Jackery, EcoFlow, Blue Eddy, something that I can always make sure my energy is really, really, up to speed. But things that you can't live without when you travel. This sounds really crazy. I keep thinking about this. I love, 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 as my dog is asleep in my arm. Um, well, let me think about this. And anyone who knows me knows I love to cook, but I really like to eat more. So
Don't we all?
I don't do a lot of cooking in my van as much as you might think I do. Not to sound like I'm a horrible cook, but it's a mess in a tiny little space. If I have a chance and I'm normally traveling through towns, I can normally find something else, and I'm good on that one. But I really love my little teeny tiny solar chargers, that I can just stick in my windshield and charge up and use for my phone, use for what I want to do. And they normally have a battery or a flashlight or something. Those have been like the most seriously compact, easy things I use every single day. They're fantastic.
yeah.
Oh, I think another. Would you have one? Because I have
Go ahead.
another
No,
one.
I mean, I have one, but go ahead.
One of the things that we also really like is our packable foldable mountain gear. And they're like, you can get little backpacks, you can get blankets, you can get duffel bags, raincoats,
Oh yeah,
and every single one of them packs down into like this space, which obviously when you were a van lifer, like those spaces
it's the
at a
best.
premium. And even though we've upgraded, I use the word upgrade because I'm not really sure it's an upgrade so much as just a change in lifestyle, but I keep calling it an upgrade. Even though we've transitioned over to the Airstream, we still find that having those montums are extremely important, because still space is still at a premium, and they're super lightweight, and you can pack a big duffel bag into this tiny of a space, and they're good to throw in another bag to go wherever and hike. And when we went to the beach a couple weekends ago, we grabbed our little montum beach blanket. It's whatever plasticky kind of, what's not plastic, what is that material called? Nylon, like a nylon material. And you just fill the corners of it with sand, and it lays on the beach, and you're great. And then you just shake it off and roll it up, and you're done. You don't have to worry about it. So I think our little packable mountain gear is also something that
we found, especially when we were in the Class B in the van, we found a lot of look for stuff that's made for hikers, like backcountry type hiking. It's lightweight, it folds up, it becomes bigger than whatever you need. That's the stuff that we found worked really well in the van. I was going to say, not living without is technical, and it's somebody I saw, it might have been Johnny Lenny. Somebody asked if we have a generator in our Airstream. Ours does not have one built in, but we did buy one to have with us, so we do carry a generator with us. We had one built in the van, and we survived the Texas winter storm, 2 winters ago?
Oh,
When that was for a week in Galveston when it was 16 degrees. Yeah, and there was no water, no power. The only reason we survived was because we had a generator in the RV. But the thing I was going to mention was investing in a good surge protector and power guard system. So the one you plug into the pedestal, and not just the kind that are to protect from surges, but will actually check for neutrals and grounds and, hot wires and whether things are reversed. And then you use it religiously. I found a couple problems at like state parks, that kind of thing, but I found more problems at people's houses that we've stayed at than I have at campgrounds. And you're hesitant, sometimes you're like, well, I'm at somebody's house. Like they plug their rig in, I'll plug mine in, it'll be fine. And we had a friend who, he had a class B and we plugged in where he's always plugged in. And I used the protector that we use, and it showed that it was bad, that there was a problem with it. He's like, oh, I've been plugging in for years. And, he's like, I guess I'm going to have that checked. And so you just never know what you're going to plug into. And that's, they seem like they're expensive. I mean, this rig that we're in now is a 50 amp rig because we have 2 air conditioners. So we had to go to a bigger unit. It seems expensive because it's several $100s, but look at what you're protecting. So anyway, that's from a technical side. I would always have one of those.
Yeah, I think so funny enough, this is going to sound really weird, but like things that you have to travel with, coming from a class B where we had our house with us at all times, where your refrigerator, your bed, your bathroom, like literally everything was with you at all times because it was a motorhome. When we went to the Airstream, we quickly realized, we have no bathroom, we have no refrigerator, we have no bed. This is going to be a problem. And so we've sort of recreated all of that. And if you notice from the picture, when Charlie showed the picture of what we are currently traveling now, we did not buy it. You'll notice we did not buy a truck. We bought basically what we had before, which was a Chevy 3500 Express van. It's just an empty cargo version instead of the built up motorhome version. And so we have since outfitted it with a little portable toilet, a portable Dometic cooler, and an air mattress. So therefore, we have our bed, our bath, and our refrigerator at all times with us. And those are things that I cannot live without.
That's the best of both worlds. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm telling you. A lot of people ask me, what would you really want? I'm like, well, I want a stationary, but I also want to get going up bathroom and do things. And that's what I love. I think that is the perfect thing. So you guys have got it right on set.
Yeah,
I love it.
we knew what we wanted, and going to the Airstream going to the towable, what Airstream or not, going to the towable, we knew was going to change our lifestyle, but we also knew that we tend to head off for the day or for the weekend and never know where we're going to end up and what we're going to do. And being able to either take food with us to have for lunches or to bring leftovers home was just something that was really important to us. And also, and the little portable toilet we have is our portable toilet from our tent camping days in the woods. And that was just stored in our basement at home. And we're like, well, we might as well toss it in the back of the van. You just never know where you're going to find yourself. And
all right.
So
Broken Nomad, he's got a Chevy Express right now. That's why he's outfitting right now. And they seem to be a fantastic van.
They're heavy duty workhorses. I mean, they're nice. We really like ours.
So cool. So cool. Okay, now guys, I know you're Michigan experts. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You guys have got that hands down. I'm going to be going to Michigan soon. No doubt about it. I'm going to put that. Was it you said Porcupine
Mountains.
So let's see, Michigan experts. So the apple blossom, the Petoskey stone, the robin, I'm just naming off all of our state things. The painted turtle.
So many. So we have a friend of ours, Randy's Adventures. She's having her meetup the first weekend in June up on the Oopie, way up there. She's going to be at Ooper at a state park, actually. And I went to her meetup last year in Wisconsin, ironically, at a county park. Oh, there's a lot of good county parks out there as well. A lot of people just don't get the opportunity to look at. And sometimes their services are pretty amazing. So, yeah.
Yeah, county. There's nothing squeamish about county parks. Some of the best parks we've been at have also been county parks.
Actually, in the UP, Munising and Marquette, those two communities have their own sort of city campgrounds and parks. Those both are very nice. So
very cool. All right, I'm going to ask you one.
Don't discount those for sure.
Don't discount those. Okay, here's your last question for the night. What advice would you give to people thinking about hitting the road that you wish you would have known before you started? Ooh, it's a good one. Bring toilet paper.
I'd say yes.
Yeah.
I would say, and I think a lot of people say this, but really take it to heart, and that is slow down. Is figure out where you're going to be and maybe think about staying somewhere longer. There's the whole idea of racing around and seeing lots of different places and how cool they are. But you really, if you settle in somewhere, you really get to know a community. You get to know the people. You get to know local food. You get to know, it's a great way to do it. And it allows you to really kind of check out an area and get to know it better. I think that would be mine.
I would go with that and expound on that and say, you have to, don't try to be like every other YouTuber out there. Like, I mean, we all get jealous and envious of what everybody else is doing and where they're going. And if they're, whether they're doing domestic travel or international travel, or they're working full time or they're not working full time, whatever it is, it's hard not to be envious of those people, but you have to really just figure out what works best for you. So
Right.
use them, use us as an example, like watch our videos and get some suggestions on where you should see and go. But then really at the end of the day, it has to be what works for you. And the kind of, trailer or RV or motorhome or truck camper or fifth wheel, whatever works for you. Because I think we spend a lot of time originally watching YouTube videos and trying to figure out, well, what was going to be the perfect rig based on what we were seeing from other people and what was going to be the perfect travel style. And until we really got on the road, and every year we've been on the road has been a little bit different, and we've had to learn what worked for us. So at first it was, moving every few days, and it was trying to cram in as much as we could. And then it was, maybe we'll stay here for 2 weeks. Maybe we'll stay here for a month. Maybe we'll stay here for 3 months.
Right.
Maybe we'll get a park hosting gig and stay there for 4 months because they're paying for our site.
Right.
And so I think that those combined, the going slow and doing what works best for you. Don't try to be like everybody else, because it's, at the end of the day, it's your life, and you have to know what's your interest.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna quote something very, very fantastic by one of my most amazing women that I know, which is something I heard the Lynn said to another singer one time. She said, "If you're trying to be me, be yourself." That's true. You've got to
Mhm.
really think about yourself and think about how you travel. I think most people don't take into consideration travel style. I think a lot of people take into consideration floor plans, and they get sold into something that they're not really familiar with and how they want to do it. I've had I call Mama Bear, Papa Bear, Baby Bear. I'm on my third rig, and there's a reason why I've had 3 rigs because the first one I thought I needed, but didn't work. The second one was like, oh, but I gotta have, but it was too much. And now the third one I'm at, this one's just right for me and my personal travel style for where I am right now. It's just right. So you go through those phases and you go through those chapters in life. And this particular chapter is where I need to be right now and how I travel. And I think it's great where people have different options. And I think I can definitely see myself moving into a different option down the road, which is just fine. But it's really cool.
And
It's really,
and
really
that,
nice.
and things change. We've said that we could go back to a van someday. I mean, depending on what we're doing with our life and our lifestyle, and that's just whatever we're going to end up doing. And I think we've said before, at the Florida RV show, for example, there's what 1,500 rigs on display
Oh
there.
yeah,
If you can't
yeah,
find a rig there, you probably shouldn't be RVing. But there, I mean, there is something for everybody. You just have to figure out
Yeah.
what it is that's going to work for you, and then if you need to change later, change it.
And
yeah.
we all know that
Probably
things
really
change. I mean,
Goldilocks.
do you have kids? Do you have pets? Do you have elderly family
Mhm.
that has, whatever it is, there are different seasons. And for us, I mean, we've, even prior to getting the van, we'd already gone again from the tent to the pop up to the van. And then we said, okay, now we need, something larger. Did we intend to get a 30-foot Airstream? Oh, heck no. That was never even under consideration. I mean, I had something else picked out entirely, but, and then in the end, it was, okay, this is what works. I don't have to spend the money renovating something. Airstream
Right,
did it for me. They're just,
right.
I will pay them to not have to renovate an RV at
Oh yeah.
this point.
Oh no, absolutely.
We
I'm
know
telling you
us. I'm
that
envious
whole
of people that know how to do all the woodworking and can tear apart an RV and rewire it and replumb it and build it. So that's never going to be us. We are not those kind of people. So
that's okay.
we
And
would
I
buy
appreciate
something
those
that
people too. We appreciate them. They do fantastic jobs. I want it done. I need to
right.
just move and go.
I just
Um,
want to
I,
get on and go, right?
my skill
But
set
if
is
you're
duct
if
tape and zip
But if you
ties.
have any ideas and you want to help us redecorate the Airstream, I mean, contact us. Let us know. What are your
There you go.
ideas?
But if you're waiting for Trekkers to do a video on renovating an RV, it's gonna be a long
Never
Never
gonna
gonna
wait.
happen.
happen.
Never gonna happen. You can interview the flipping nomad. You can interview some people and say, "Oh, this is fine. That's very lovely.
Yeah.
Good job." I did a video. This is funny because someone challenged me once and said, "Okay, we know you're not the DIYer, okay?" And I'm a Pinterest fail. I will tell you right now, I'm a complete Pinterest fail. It's funny as heck to watch me. But I did a whole thing on what if I became a RV interior decor designer person, which of course also is not me. So that's why it's sort of funny to think, okay, let's give Charlie Grace some money and Hobby Lobby and Kohl's gift cards and see what she can come up with. And I did. And I came with 2 very unique looks for the van, which was fun. I mean, it was really fun because you're like, you get the stock model something. how do you personalize it and make it your own, right? What do you do? And I'm not the person who's really good with like Velcro strips and putting up stuff and like, I just don't do that. I'm more practical. I'm the practical person, right? But I put up pictures and I did like little wall hangings and I did carpet. It was a lot of fun. So if you ever get a chance, I'll have to drop a link for the whatever it is. But it was
I
fun.
laugh
And
only because we just spent Saturday night having one of those lovely marital experiences of trying to hang a picture on the wall
bingo.
with
Yeah.
Velcro and everything.
With
And
Velcro
you know, I
everything,
think we all can attest to how well that usually goes.
yeah. Do you need sometimes I need a laser level just for even something like that. So
Well, and yeah, we realized, I mean, still even it's like it's the trailer wasn't level, the picture wasn't level. Like it was in a tight spot. You couldn't, anyways, you know,
yeah,
it's
it's just
hung and it looks very pretty now, but but you know,
at the
those
time.
challenging 2 hours of trying to make it happen.
At the time, there's certain things in a relationship that are like the epitome of discussions. What, it used to be going to Blockbuster and finding a movie. Those are gone. But for some of us, we remember that of like, okay, well, let's walk around here for 30 minutes and see if we can agree on a movie. And then it became, well, let's go to Bed Bath Beyond and see if we can agree on a bath mat. Bath mats are a big deal for some people. That's a relationship crusher right there. So then when you're an RV, like you sit there and you go, as an RV couple, what's going to be the kicker? What's the litmus test for a real couple in an RV?
And everybody should know too, if you're in an RV, and especially the smaller the RV, whatever experiences you're going to have are going to be multiplied, right? It's
Yeah.
exponential. So you really need to be able to get along or figure out how to get along.
Yes.
But I would also argue is the wrong word, I suppose. But if you have some sort of disagreement on something, it never lasts as long when we're on the road as it does at home.
No.
Because when we're in our sticks and bricks, there's way too many rooms to go hide in. In an
You
RV,
you can just ignore the other person for days.
in an RV, there's nowhere to go, right? So
go take a walk.
Make
a
up.
long walk.
Right.
Take a walk, come back. One of you's going to apologize and just move on.
I think we have, that is true. And I think our relationship has gotten stronger over the last couple of years. I mean, we still have our differences and we still have our like, okay, we've just spent too much time together, or it's been a late night and we're tired and we're cranky. But at the end of the day, yes, I think we've been much stronger for that. And for people, I mean, I'm assuming everybody here is in the lifestyle of some kind or knows they are, but this is not for everybody. I think we all know that there are people who there is no way they could ever live in an RV full time because they don't even sit at home and watch TV together. They're in their own room. They're doing their own things. I'm like, if you don't already spend time together, you're not going to work on the road because you are constantly spending time together. So I think that that's always been advice that we've given to people. And also just in general, like, I'm going to go back to a previous question because we answered what was our bad experience on the road, but we kind of never really touched on the good experience, like the opposite of that. And for me, it's been a little bit of getting outside of my comfort zone in terms of going with the flow and just trusting Ari that he knows what he's doing when he's booked us something and we're going to survive. And by that, I mean, last summer, he signed up for this camp hosting gig in Texas at the state park that did not have a campground and was out in the middle of nowhere and with nothing and like, half hour from the nearest other town, anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you've committed us to 3 months in the middle of nowhere. What in the world? And I'm a very social butterfly. So I'm thinking there's no campground. There's no people. There's what are we doing here?
And I'm an introvert. So I thought it was,
he was like, this is amazing.
This is my dream.
And I was like, I'm on board because I mean, I'm always up to interesting places, but he kind of had to listen to me kvetch for quite a while about how this experience was going to go. And I have to say that was probably like in the top 5 best experiences that we've ever had. It was an amazing state park. It was amazing people. If you haven't followed our channel and you want to go back and watch some of that experience, please do. But it was at the Lyndon B. Johnson State Park, directly across the river from the Lyndon B. Johnson National Ranch, like the Texas White House, as they call it. And the state park has a working farm set up from like the early, like late 1800s, early 1900s, showing what life was like in Texas in the early 1900s with no electricity and no running water and all that kind of stuff. And they dress up in period appropriate clothing and they let me come work at the farm on the weekends. And that was the best experience. So I got to wear my little prairie dress on Saturdays and got to like feed the cows and collect eggs and help make lunch on the cast iron stove. And I was only supposed to do it on Sunday, I was only supposed to do it on Easter weekend. And I ended up doing it almost every Saturday for the entire 3 months that we were there.
Good job, Ari. Good job.
And so he kind of holds that over my head a little bit, and he's like, okay, you just have to trust me on some of this. And who knows, we may end up with a flop once in a while, but for me, that good, what were those good experiences? It was not something that I would have ever done before, or we probably would have even considered, because we were thinking camp hosting was more like you have to be in a campground and you have to deal with the campers. And because this was not a campground, what actually worked out really well, and now we're kind of spoiled, is that we don't ever really want to go to a campground, because we could interact with those people all day long. They went home at 5 o'clock. We went back to our rig. We had dinner time in the evenings to ourselves. And
you weren't scrubbing toilets?
No. Well, he was a little bit on the maintenance team.
A little bit, not much. I work maintenance, so.
But it was more like, I don't know, it was just a really good experience. And so again, I think that was one of those very unexpected things in our life that I would have never even imagined of just a few years ago, even when we first started this travel journey. It was not on my radar.
Oh, it's a great example of getting outside your comfort zone and then experiencing something that you didn't know you're going to love so much.
And I would always say, at least do it once, right? Try something different, get out of your comfort zone, try it. If you don't like it, you're not, again, 3 months goes by pretty quick, right? So it's not like you're committed for years. Try it. If you don't like it, then the next time you go do something somewhere else, then kind of know what your parameters are, right?
When I say get outside my comfort zone, because this is 100% something that I would do. I mean, I would always and I volunteered before in historical stuff. So totally something I would do, but not necessarily like the camp hosting part of it. It was more like, I'm going to volunteer on the weekend to go help at the library, or I'm going to, do that. So, and to the point where we've already signed up for the same park for next year. Like, we're going back because we had such a good experience. We already signed up to go back.
Like, I got my prairie skirt on. I'm ready. I know what I'm doing now.
I'm ready to go. Got to milk some cows.
Well, before I forget, speaking of where you guys are, I have a friend who's out there who's doing his first experience of 6 months in the United States. I'm going to see if he's up for, I don't know, we'll see if we can bring him up. Lance, are you there? Are you there, Lance? It's me. I feel like, are you there? Are you there?
Sorry.
Hey, buddy.
I was talking to somebody in your live.
Of course you are. So everybody, this is Lance from Back with Boomer, and this is important. So he is on his first big trek ever in the United States for 6 months. He's in a small class C. He's doing really, really well. However, are you in Texas somewhere? Are you in Mexico? Have you been pulled over? Where are you?
I got it written down where I am.
Do you know where you are? Yeah.
Do you know where you are? Oh, geez. Now he's lost it somewhere. He went to South Padre. You were in South Padre.
Oh, nice.
Fort Stockworth.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
The stockyards?
It's just amazing drive through these hills and canyons and valleys, and oh my God, I was just blown away. It's like a fourth on my top 5 list of things I've seen so far.
So where are you heading to now? What's your next big?
Keep going west, and I'll be in Yuma on Friday, and then I'll be at Quartzsite finally on Saturday.
Very cool. So Lance was with me at the Tampa show. We all were there, which is nice.
Well, we saw you guys there.
There you go. Yeah. Now he's having bad internet issues. I'm going to put him back down. But we're doing our weekly check-in with Lance to find out where he is on the maps, or like where in the world is Carmen Sandiego.
That's awesome.
Just let everybody know, so in case they have enough warning to know that Lance is coming to their town.
That's a great thing though about RVing, because we've had that question from family and friends. They're all like, "Do you ever wake up and not know where you're at?" And it's like, well, I may not know what's outside the RV, but it's nice that you wake up and it's comfortable. Like, you're in your house, right? It's not like you wake up in a hotel and you're not sure where you're at or whatever. So you always wake up. I always know where I am when I wake up. Once I step outside of the RV, I might do something that's different. But that's the scary part.
Although I thought it was in the van the other night. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was very confused. Like, I tried to get out of bed. I tried to get out of bed the wrong way because of how we used to the van. Anyways, I was like, where am I? I had no idea.
What day is it? No idea. Where am I? What state am I in? I don't know.
I had no idea. I don't know. I had no idea. And then all of a sudden I'm like sitting at the edge of the bed going, the bathroom should be right here. And it's not, because in the van, the bathroom was literally at the end of the bed. And now it's at the other end of the trailer. And I'm like, I think I was like trying to open the curtain. I'm like, where's the bathroom?
These are such first world RV problems. I know. This is
They
such.
are, right?
What will I ever do? I can't find the bathroom. It's so far
Can't find
away.
the bathroom. Where am I?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I think what's weird for me is the bedroom is in the front of the Airstream, and our bedroom was in the back on the van. So there
Gotcha.
are times when I wake up when I'm slightly confused about something, and it's simply because the bedroom is in the opposite end of where I think it should be compared to like the road or the back of the site campsite or that kind of things. But it's I still, like you said, you still know where I mean, you're still home, but
You're still home. You're just,
sometimes
your home is where you park it. I get it. It's one of those great things. I can't wait to park next to you guys sometime again. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but I may end up going to Texas. You never know. I look great at Prairie Skirt.
you
I'm just
want to come
saying.
to Utah for the summer? Because that's where we'll
Oh,
be all summer.
I
Yeah,
need to go
we're
to
heading west.
Ogden, Utah. How far are you from Ogden, Utah?
Probably about 3.5 hours, because that's north of Salt Lake City.
It's
Yeah,
piece of
probably.
cake. I gotta get my van. My van needs a little lift and nip and tuck.
Oh,
A little something, something. She needs to go.
Ogden is where the university is there. That's where Cedarbrook was.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I've learned I can't find anyone a really good off-roader who can give my van a little lift, because she needs to get about 6 inches off the ground. Because if I'm gonna take her any place, it's really tough.
Neither of us have been to Utah, so we have to learn about Utah, and then we're gonna be living there for a few months. So
Okay,
So if
well,
any of you have tips on Utah, we're all ears.
send us a note.
send me a
Apparently,
note.
we're like 3 hours from everything.
We're not that far.
Okay, maybe not.
Not from everything.
Not from everything. We're 3 hours south of Salt Lake City, and maybe like an hour and a half from Bryson, Zion, I think.
That's not bad. That's not bad. We'll find you. Just keep putting up the videos. We're gonna just follow you around.
Right.
I love this. Well, guys, do me a favor. Can you hang out in the basement for a second? There's cookies. Give me a second. I'll put you down there. Okay. Go grab a cookie. Thank you so much for coming tonight. This is so much fun.
Yeah,
thanks for having us. Thank you,
on.
everybody,
Thanks,
for
everybody. It's nice
joining
to
in.
chat with you.
Yay. Okay, hold on. Go down the basement. I think Lance is down
Okay.
there.
All
and
right.
having chocolate chips. Hold on. They are so sweet. I love these guys. If you guys have any questions, or if you guys want to follow their journey, which is really amazing, go over to the Trekkers. They have a great YouTube channel. Of course, they got a great website. I did share some stuff. I'll share their link again of their actual website, so you can follow them on all the good socials. And just want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Always a good time. Today has been a fantastic Fun Day Monday. And for those of you out there celebrating Galentine's Day, because today is Galentine's Day, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Happy Galentine's Day and Valentine's Day to all of you guys. I really do appreciate and think about you every single day. So let me just say goodbye, bye-bye, and we will see you next Monday.